Welcome to Third Power Life podcast. Today we're going to be talking about something I actually overheard at a meeting I had last week, and it was that we have to make every day count. I know that seems kind of obvious, but I want to go a little bit deeper into that. However, before we do the intro and all of that, I do want to ask a favor of you. If you're listening to this, please like, subscribe. If you're watching the YouTube version of this, subscribe, click the little bell so you know when the next episode's coming out. And a rating and review would be amazing. So I appreciate everybody for listening. We're going to go to the intro and then we'll get into it. Welcome to my journey of self-discovery, life balance, career success, and business creation. This podcast works to answer the question of how successful professionals like us stop drifting and get focused on keeping our careers and businesses growing rapidly while having a full, balanced, and vibrant life that we absolutely love. What we call the Third Power Life. And this is the Third Power Life podcast. So I was in a meeting recently, and there were a number of people talking about different issues that they were having. And one of the gentlemen said that he had a mentor that told him that you need to make sure that you make every day count. And it's when I first heard it, I'm like, yeah, of course, we've got to make every day count, right? And then I realized the more that I thought about it, that the flippant, yeah, of course, was missing the point. That every day, we don't know how many days we have on this earth, right? And that every day is an opportunity for us to make the best of our lives, to make an impact on the world, right? One of the things that I talk about, from my middle school is, so I remember being pulled aside by that guidance counselor, and I was 12 or 13 at the time, and he goes, Dan, what do you think the world owes you? And I'm like, I don't know. And it's like, I was 12 or 13. I didn't know. And he goes, let me tell you, the world doesn't owe you anything. You were given the gift of life. You owe the world. The world doesn't owe you. So you have to make sure that you leave this world better than when you got here. That's what you need to do, right? The world doesn't owe us anything. We were given the gift of life. We need to make sure that we make a difference. And here's the deal. It is so easy to get caught up in the drama of life, of going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home, right? Getting on our phones, right? And getting caught in, Clash Royale, right? Or whatever game that we're playing. How many hours have we lost to Candy Crush or something like that, right? And while, I have a few games that I play, right? I will admit that, but that needs to be just a moment's respite, not hours and hours. So I have a scary task for you. I want you to turn on your phone and go look at the screen time. How much time have you spent on your phone? And most, again, I don't know all the phones, but, Android I know has it. I'm sure iOS does as well. You can see how long do you average on your phone? What apps have you been using, right? It's scary when you start looking at it. There have been days where I had 6 hours of phone usage, right? Now, to my credit, that the day where it was 6 hours, like an hour and a half of that was on my Kindle app. So I was reading a book. So, not terrible. There are some days where it was up higher, where it was maps because I was driving. But those are, that's me trying to justify the fact that there was still 4 hours left where it was playing a game, it was, text messages. If you really want to get get some interesting statistics and analytics, look at how many notifications you get, right? It's like I had a day where I had 700 different notifications, between emails, text messages, Slack and, Discord and right? 700 times in a 24-hour period where there was some type of a bzz, ding bong, right? How on earth do you make that work, right? How do you stay sane? And so my guidance to you is to set, in order to make each day count, set some boundaries with your electronics, right? Sometimes, I know some of us have jobs where you can't, not look at emails or text messages or what have you. But here's what I would tell you. Take at least 20 minutes at a time. You'll notice on my desk over here, if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, check out the YouTube version. But I have a timer. This is my little Pomodoro technique timer. And so I will take 25 minutes of just focus time. And I turn off all of the ringers, mute the computer, so I can focus for just a few minutes and work without interruption, right? There, very rarely are there any emails, text messages, what have you, that can't wait 20 minutes, right? Unless you're a doctor or, it's life and death, what have you. Okay, but that's not the norm, right? You can take 20 to 25 minutes and set it aside as focus time. And what's the really important thing? What's the one thing, right? I've talked about that before. Book The One Thing. Fantastic. What's the one thing that I need to do today that will make a difference in my life and in the world? And it may not even be work. It may be spending 20 minutes with your child. It may be spending 20 minutes to plan a really cool getaway with your spouse. 20 minutes is usually enough, which is really sad when you think about it, that 20 minutes is usually enough to make the day count. So I challenge you in this to carve out 25 minutes, half an hour of your day tomorrow, and take the first 5 minutes and figure out what is the most important thing that will make a difference in my life. And work on that for 20 minutes. Right? Aren't you worth 20 minutes? And it may be something that can't be done in 20 minutes. But you know what? Tomorrow, you'll get another 20 minutes. And you keep doing that. You keep working on what is truly, truly important. And like a muscle, it'll get better and better. Now, here's the other part I will tell you, is that once you start doing that, I guarantee that for almost all of us, we could carve out multiple 20-minute slots, or multiple half-hour slots throughout the day. Schedule it in your calendar. That 2:30 time slot. Put it on your calendar. Meeting with myself, right? Big, you could call it the big domino meeting or the one thing meeting. I'm going to work on my big domino, the thing that's going to make the most impact when it hits. I'm going to work on my one thing. I am going to make today count. I'm doing mine right now. This is my big domino for today, is recording this and trying to get this message across to you, because it's so easy to drift through life when we're distracted, right? I firmly believe that as much as I love technology, I mean, I wrote my first computer program in 1980. I've been a computer technology geek for decades and decades, and I love it. However, it has an insidious side. So set aside time to disconnect from it and get what's truly important. Don't drift. Don't drift through life. Take command. That's what setting this time aside is it's take command in 20-minute increments, right? Not hard. And I guarantee you it will make a huge difference in your life. So that's it today. Make every day count. Take 20 minutes for yourself to really focus on what's important. And that's truly how we live our life to the third power. And remember, please like, subscribe, share this message out. If you know somebody, I guarantee you, we all know somebody that is addicted to their phone. They never have enough time for themselves, and they're driving themselves crazy. Have them listen to this podcast. I guarantee it will help. All right. Till tomorrow, my friends. Thank you for listening to the Third Power Life podcast. Before you go, one quick question for you. Where are you on the path of life? Are you just drifting through your life? Are you fully in command, somewhere in between? Well, you can find out where you are now by taking my new Commander Survey. It will tell you where you are on your growth journey and how to move yourself to the next level. You can find the link on the screen or in the show notes. Now, all I want to know now is, where do you stand?